This caregiver gave the owner a bath for the first time. He sprayed the owner's face randomly, almost choking him. When feeding, he made the owner covered in food. He also thought the owner's beard wasn't good enough and made it like this, and like this. But strangely, the owner didn't fire him and even gave him several times the salary of others. This is a true story. The man, Philip, was a billionaire, but due to a paragliding accident, he became paralyzed for life. Only his head can move, and he can only rely on others to take care of his daily life. So he needs to hire a caregiver. Many people came to apply. They were experienced and talked eloquently. And even some of Philip's fans came specifically with his book to get an autograph. Obviously, he wasn't satisfied with these people. At this moment, a man broke in. He wasn't here to apply. He just wanted Philip to sign the dismissal letter so he could get unemployment benefits conveniently. After that, he had to hurry to pick up his son from school. Obviously, the man named Dell was a gangster without a proper job. Facing Philip's gaze, Dell said,
"What's that look about? Don't judge me, I ain't judged you."
It was these words that made Philip decide to keep Dell, but Dell directly refused. He had no habit of taking care of others. When Philip asked him to consider it overnight and give him an answer the next day, Dell left and took a book conveniently. When he arrived at the school, he was told that his son had been picked up by his mother. Dell had to go to his ex-wife in a hard way. Although his wife and children didn't welcome him, Dell still took out the birthday gift he had prepared. It was the book he took from Philip's room. But a month had passed since his son's birthday, and his son threw the gift aside and went back to his room without saying a word. He had been disappointed with his father. Dell was idle all day, and couldn't even afford a penny in child support, forcing his mother and son to live in a dilapidated rental house. His ex-wife kicked Dell out of the house in anger. All the lights of the house were not on for him, and Dell felt a sense of sadness in his heart. His previous gangster friends advised Dell to return to his old job, but Dell knew that would only drive his family further away. Right now, he urgently needed a job. In the end, Dell agreed to Philip's job. After learning about the salary, Dell was dumbfounded.
That a month?
Per week.
Then the butler showed Dell around his room. The room was simply luxurious and low-key without losing its extravagance. Dell lay on the bed and didn't want to get up anymore. This made Nicole, the housekeeper, even more dissatisfied with him. How could a gangster be qualified to be a caregiver? The first time Dell served as a caregiver, he made a mess of things. Helping Philip get in and out of the wheelchair almost caused him to fall. Feeding him was everywhere, and even bathing him didn't know what to do, almost drowning himself in the water. The teacher taught him how to do rehabilitation training for Philip, but he only cared about looking at beautiful women and didn't listen at all. Even refused to help Philip defecate. But it doesn't matter because Philip doesn't expect Dell to do a good job. He only hopes that Dell will give up rescuing him when his life is in critical condition. It turned out that Philip didn't want to live anymore, and Dell, who has no sense of responsibility, is the best choice. This day, Dell took Philip out for a walk. They came to the underground garage, and Dell asked which car was Philip's. Philip replied that they were all. However, Philip plans to sell them all because his situation is more suitable for a spacious car. Dell doesn't seem to think so. He took Philip for a wild race in a sports car. Philip rarely showed a smile on his face. Then the two came to a gallery. Dell obviously couldn't appreciate this elegant art. When he heard that such a square could sell for $80,000, Dell instantly thought he could do it too. On the way back, Philip told Dell that some things are priceless, just like the signed novel in his room. His wife gave him one every year when she was alive. Their meaning cannot be measured by money. Dell then fell into deep thought because the novel in Philip's mouth was the one he had stolen. Filled with guilt, Dell found his wife. He told his wife that he had found a job and handed over his first salary entirely. Then he asked his wife to return his son's book. His wife directly refused Dell because it was the first gift Dell gave his son. Dell had to go to his son, but he received a text message from Nicole on the way. She found out that he had sneaked out in the car. Nicole said she was going to fire Dell, but Dell can't lose this job now. Fortunately, Philip came out to help him. Dell was very grateful to him. That night, Philip suddenly became ill. In a daze, he saw his wife's figure again, being tortured by his wife's love and the pain of his disability. His body and mind were tortured. This repression but unvented pain makes Philip want to give up treatment. Dell shouted anxiously,
"Hey, you know damn well I need this gig. So you take a deep breath, or I am going to give you mouth to mouth."
In the pain, Philip suddenly laughed. On the rooftop, Dell asked Philip if the pain of physical pain would make him want to end his life. Philip said no, but the pain of losing his wife would. Looking at the haggard Philip, Dell took him out of the house. The two walked on the road in the middle of the night. The empty street at 4 in the morning was deserted. For the first time, Philip opened up to Dell. It turned out that in order to challenge extreme sports, he took his wife to play gliding in a storm. Unexpectedly, the accident took away his wife and left Philip to spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair. Instantly losing everything made Philip almost desperate. He has always been deeply guilty for killing his wife. Choosing to say this made him feel much better in his heart. His employer spent $80,000 on a doodle. Since then, he has been working hard to create a masterpiece. Everyone tries not to discourage Dell's insincere expression of his opinion. But in Philip's opinion, whether it is good or not is not important. What matters is discovering one's potential. He thinks Dell, an optimist, is a promising person. Today is Philip's birthday. Del takes Philip to pick up his son. The son asks his father if he is driving for Philip.
He is my chief executive, my right-hand man. My left hand, too.
Three spend a pleasant afternoon together. Del finds an opportunity to get the book back that he gave away. Knowing his father's style, the son immediately understands everything and returns the book to Philip. On the way back, Del admits to stealing the book, but that was before, and he won't do it now. Philip doesn't blame Del, saying that books are meant to be read. Everyone makes mistakes. Philip, who was already in a bad mood, returns home to face many friends who have come to celebrate his birthday. He doesn't want to celebrate his birthday and doesn't want others to see his embarrassment. Del says that Nicole has prepared a party for you. You shouldn't treat her like that. He asks Philip what he wants to smash, and he will smash it. He hates the champagne delivered by the neighbor, the figurines he doesn't like, and the photos he doesn't like. They are all smashed to pieces. The neighbor urges Philip to fire Del, who has a criminal record and has been in jail, and there will be hidden dangers if he stays by his side. Philip says that some people should not only look at the past. Past mistakes should not become a label for a person's life. At this time, the neighbor saw the painting drawn by Del and thought it was painted by a certain painter. Philip took the opportunity to trick the neighbor and made him mistakenly think that the painting was worth a lot of money. Under Del's leadership, the atmosphere of the entire banquet gradually became lively. Just then, Philip received a call from his pen pal. The two made an appointment to meet on Saturday. Philip became because he had never told his pen pal about his paralysis. Soon it was time for the date.